these seats were spread apart, now this is the loose one. If you lose anything, though, let me know, and I'll go see if I can find it. Or you can look on eBay in about a week. Okay, you ready to go on the ground? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, keep John at the back so if anybody jumps out, they can get in.
Do what? Do what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Beckley coal.
Okay, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this mine. This was an actual coal mine, and it was called the Phillips mine. The Phillips family owned it. And they operated this mine for 20 years, from 1890 to 1910. Now this mine shut down in 1910, and it sat idle until 1958. And the city of Beckley bought it. But when the city of Beckley bought this mine, it was about as high as these cars right here. The Phillips family had been mining this little seam of coal down here on the bottom, and it's a Sewell seam, and it runs anywhere from 28 to 34 inches high. And that's how high the whole mine was. Those men worked on their hands and knees all the time. After the city bought this, they hired a company to come in here and shoot that rock from the top of these cars up to what you see today. They started doing tours here in 1962. So that's 61 years doing tours in this mine. Now back in the day when the Phillips family had this mines, they had 30 miners that worked here. And those men worked 12-hour shifts. In 12 hours, each one of those miners could load about 10 of these 1-ton cars of coal. And that was with a pick and shovel. You know how much they paid him to load 1 ton of coal in 1900?
70 cents.
20 cents. He got 20 cents for a ton of coal if it was all clean. Y'all hear that rumble? Earthquake. That's what happens just before the mine collapses.
Thank you.
I'm only kidding. That's a train just like you're in, and he's going out, so. He'll rumble there for a few minutes, and then he'll be outside. Now, back in the days when the Phillips family had these mines, those miners had these little tags. And each miner had a pocket full of them, and it's got a number stamped on it. Each miner had a number. So if you loaded this car of coal, you took this tag and you hung it on the car. Well, a donkey or a mule would pull it outside. Somebody outside would collect the tag off of it, and they'd write that number down, and they'd save that tag and give it back to the miner to use again. But what happened is, as this mine's got bigger and bigger, so it got started spreading out. A lot of times you had cars of coal sitting here waiting to be took outside. And somebody slip over here and change the tag on it. They'd steal your coal.
No
Whose
money.
tag was on this mines when it went outside, that's who got the credit for it. This went on for just a little while, and then the company did something to stop it. And here's what they did, they told the miners to nail their tag to a piece of wood. Now, when they brought you an empty car to load, you threw this in the bottom of it, and you covered it up with your coal. So now they take these cars outside and dump them, and they look for that piece of wood. They know which miner actually loaded that car of coal. I've got a few things here I want to show you. This is one of the first lights that the coal miner had to seed with. Now this is called a teapot light. It dates back to 1900. But here's how it worked. You open this lid and you fill this full of kerosene up to the ring. It's got a wick that goes down the spout. So he would fill it up, close the lid, and he'd light the wick. And he wore that on his hat. Now that didn't put out a lot of light. It's about like wearing a candle on your head. And every hour, this thing would go run out of fuel. So every hour he was underground, his light went out. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like today. But before I do, I'm going to ask you to hold your hand in front of your face. Now when I turn these lights out, I want you to see if you can see your hands. Here's how dark it is in the coal mine.
My hand's in front of my face and I can't like
That's pretty dark, isn't it? Let me tell you
Can't see anything.
a few things about this little light. Miners would fry bacon for breakfast.
Do what?
Save the bacon grease. And they'd bring that bacon grease to work. And they would burn it in this light. Now the bacon grease did two things. It saved the miner a few pennies on his kerosene because he had to buy what he used. And it made the mine smell so much better. Made it smell like bacon in here. Believe it or not, they used these lights for about 35 years. Then they came out with this light. I'm going to pour this out. Now, this is called a carbide light. And that's carbide. I got this little jug. I'm going to put a little bit in here. This carbide looks like it's gravel in there. So I'm going to put just a little bit in this light. And this is the top part of that light. I'm going to open this lid. I'm going to pour some drinking water in it.
Makes gas.
Okay, I'm going to get over here in the middle. I want everybody to see this. This is called a carbide light. And I put the carbide in the bottom. I put water in the top. On the top of this light is a little lever right here, and that little lever is called a dripper. So I'm going to turn it on and see what it does.
Oh, wow.
It drips that water out. Now I'm going to drip that water on this carbide and it's going to activate it. And it's going to release a gas called acetylene. So, and I'll show you how to light this light. So here we go. See that smoke coming out of there? That's acetylene gas. Now you screw this light back together and you hold your hand here. You say the magic word, hocus pocus. And it lights. Now this was a big improvement for the miner. This light will last 4 hours. Now let me turn the lights out again and show you how much light it has to work with. That's called a carbide light. And we actually have some of these out in the gift shop for sale.
Ooh.
And you can still buy carbide today. Carbide is considered a hazardous material. So they will not ship it in the air. They'll ship it on the ground. So if you order any carbide, it'll take you a couple days longer to get it. That's a carbide light. I've got another light I want to show you. this light's called a flame safety lamp. And they used this light in the mines for many years to check for gases. Now, if you're working in the mines, you're worried about one gas in particular, and that's
Methane.
methane. If you had methane gas in the mines, it always goes to the top, because methane is lighter than air. So to check for methane, you had to hold this up against the top, and you watch it flame. Well, if that flame doesn't change, there's no methane here. If you had methane gas here, here's what this flame would do. It would start growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. If you get up to 5%, it will actually explode inside this light without blowing up the whole mines. Keeps it right here. Now, they also used this light to check for another gas, and it was called low oxygen, black damp. Settles on the bottom, it's heavy. They'd hold this light down next to the bottom. If it got dim and went out, that would tell us we had low oxygen. They used these lamps up until the year of 2000. Now, in the year of 2000, they eliminated these and they don't use them anymore. So it's been 23 years since they used these. Now, did you ever hear of them using a canary? Years and years and years ago, each man worked by himself. So each man had a canary, and he would bring it in. This is okay. If he was shoveling this car of coal, he set that little bird close by, and every now and then he'd stop and look back at that bird. Now, if that bird's sitting there and he's chirping and tweeting and doing whatever birds do, he's in good air. But if he looks back and that little bird's laying on his back with his feet up in the air, something wrong here. What that little bird would do, if he was in low oxygen, he'd roll over on his back and he'd go to sleep. Forever. That's what he looked like.
Go down to the weeds.
Get out here before it does. Waking up. Here's what the little bird looks like.
Now he went to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Forever.
Definitely went to sleep there.
Okay, let's go to our next stop.
So they actually done.
Is this a fake mic?
You're fine. did.
As the demand for coal increased, companies had to find a quicker way to mine the coal. So they started shooting coal with dynamite. But even at this time, miners still worked by themselves. Now, each miner had a location to come to when he came to work. The miner that worked here, here's what he had to do. He has to take this pick. He has to take this pick and he has to dig the bottom part of that coal. Now, he had to dig this place 8 foot wide, and he would dig back as far as he could reach with this pick. That's called the undercut. Once he does the undercut, he would get his drill, and he'd take this drill, and he's got to drill 3 holes in this 8 foot area. He drills a hole on the left, one on the right, one in the center. He was down on his knees, and this went against his chest. And he drills these holes with his hands. And he would drill them 3 holes as deep as he could with